Okay, what I'm going to have, don't go too close to the hearse. Stay back a little bit. Okay. Get 3 on either side. I'm going to take this right off. Yes. That's not going to stay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Don't get too close because you'll be able to. We're going to pull the truck up.
I came to know that my dad bid his farewell.
kandi menyeshwa yuko papa yiyejeje,
And then I got to know that my dad cleansed himself.
kandi avuga ko yiteguye.
And he said that he was ready.
Nyuma y'iyo conversation yagiranye n'umuntu wamuteguye the week before he passed,
After the conversation that he had with the person who prepared him icyumweru kimwe mbere y'uko apfa,
yaranyandikiye arambwira ngo kanaka twabonanye,
he sent me a text and said like I met with this person
kandi twagiranye ibihe byiza.
and we had good times with them.
Numva ko basenze nk'ibisanzwe.
I felt like they prayed as usual.
Rero kuba turi hano tumusezera ni ibintu bigoranye,
For us to be here bidding our last farewell to our dad is really difficult.
ariko ndashima Imana ko yamukunze
But I thank God that he has loved him
ikamuruhura
and he has put him to rest.
akagenda tudatangiye kwinunuba,
He went before we got tired of taking care of him.
agapfa urupfu rw'abakiranutsi.
And he died the death of righteous.
Yakorewe n'ikiriyo cyiza cy'abakiranutsi.
He also had good funeral services of righteous as well.
Nanejejwe no kumva ubuhamya bw'abantu benshi.
I was really glad to hear about so many different testimonies.
Yakoze ibikorwa byinshi.
He had done so many things.
Yambitse imfubyi.
He gave clothes to the orphans.
Yambitse abapfakazi.
He gave clothes to the widows.
Yagaburiye abantu benshi.
He fed a lot of people.
Yareze benshi.
He took care of so many people.
Twebwe rero twagiriwe akarusho ko twasangiye amaraso nawe.
But we were especially blessed because we shared the same blood with them.
Kuko ibyo mwabonye twe twabonye ibirenze ibyo.
Because what you saw, we saw extra things.
Ntago mu madecision yose yafashe, nshima Imana ko yanavuye akifatira decision.
In all the decision that he took, I'm also really glad that even to his last days, he was taking decisions to himself.
Ariko nta munsi n'umwe yigeze afata decision wenyine.
But he has never taken a decision by himself.
Yarambwiraga buri munsi ngo what do you think about this? Bampamagaye bimeze gutya, what do you think?
He would call me all the time asking me, urabyumva gute? They called me, urabyumva gute?
Yashizemo icyizere gikomeye.
He has put this trust in me.
Sometimes naricaraga nkavuga nti se papa ashobora kuba mbonamo ibindi bintu wenda njye ntibonamo.
To the point where I was wondering what my dad was seeing in me that I cannot see in myself.
Rero ndashima Imana ko turi kuri uyu munsi tumusezera.
I thank God that we are on this day bidding our last farewell.
Ndashima Imana ko mpagararanye hano na Liliane na David.
I thank God that I'm standing here with Lilian and David.
Hari abandi tuvukana ariko tutari kumwe.
There are other siblings of ours that are not with us right now.
Ariko ndashima Imana ko yashimye ko ari bo tuzaba
But I
duhagararanye.
thank God that he saw that it was good for me to be with them today.
Ndashaka kuvuga ibintu bikeya namwigiyeho.
I wanted to share a few things that I learned from him.
Papa ntiwari umuntu ngo wabona imbere hano ngo ari kubwiriza cyangwa ari gukora ibindi bintu mu rusengero.
My dad was not the person that you would see on the pulpit preaching or doing other things in the church.
Ariko papa namwigiyeho gutanga icyacumi.
But I learned to give tithe from my dad.
Kandi ni ikintu nkurikiza ngerageza uko nshoboye
And
kose.
it's something that I follow and I do my best to do it.
Ntiyambwirije ntiyagize gute ariko nabimubonyeho
He
nanjye
did not
ndabyiga.
preach to me and he did not tell me to do it, but I saw that in him and then I started doing it as well.
Papa yari azi kubika ibanga.
My dad was a secret keeper.
Namubwiraga ibintu byose akabigumana mu mutima
I would tell him whatever I wanted to share with him, but he would keep him in his heart.
yangira inama nyinshi.
He advised me so many times.
Nzamukumburira ibyo bintu.
I'll miss him for that.
Ikindi kintu papa yarwanye intambara acecetse.
Another thing, my dad fought a fight silently.
Kuva turi abana bato hari igihe nabonaga papa arwaye.
From when we were still young, there were times when I would see my dad sick,
Ariko ntiyigeze ataka.
but he never complained.
Nta muntu yigeze avuga nabi.
He never talked bad about someone.
Nta n'umudokiteri yigeze avuga nabi.
There's not even one doctor that he talked bad about.
Papa yanyuzwe n'ibyo yari afite.
My dad was satisfied with what he had.
Papa muzi afite amafaranga.
I know my dad having money,
Muzi kandi adafite
and I
amafaranga.
know my dad kind of broke.
Ariko icyo gihe cyose muri ibyo bihe byose yaciyemo
But through all those times,
yaranyuzwe.
he was
Kandi
satisfied
yari afite amahoro mu mutima.
and he had peace of mind.
Ikindi ndashaka gushima Imana ko papa yandereye abana.
I also wanted to thank God that my dad got to raise my kids.
Umunsi umuhungu wanjye avuka,
The day my son was born,
byari mu bihe bitugoye.
it was during difficult times for us.
Nibwo ubucura wacu yaramaze kwitaba Imana.
Because that was when our last born had passed.
Papa ntabwo yarameze neza mentally.
My dad wasn't doing well mentally,
Yambara costume aza gukikira uyu muhungu.
but he put on a suit, but he came and carried my son.
Buri gihe uko yazaga mu rugo yarambwiraga ngo uyu nguyu ni ubutumye nkiriho uyu munsi.
Every time when he would come to my house, he would say like, this is the person who's making me live to date.
Arwaye atarwaye yarazaga akabafata akajya kubatembereza.
Whether he was sick or not, he would come and take them and take them somewhere to the playground.
Ndashima Imana ko ibyo yabikoze.
I thank God that he got to do that.
Ndashima Imana ko papa apfuye abonye ibyangombwa.
I thank God that my dad passed away while he had immigration papers.
Yaramaze imyaka myinshi hano.
He had been here for so many times,
Ariko ndashima
for so many
Imana ko
years.
adapfanye agahinda kuko nta byangombwa yari
But I
afite.
thank God that he did not die with that sorrow of not having the immigration papers.
Reka nshimire abantu
Let me thank people
batubaye hafi y'iminsi yose
who were very close to us during all these days.
mu buryo bwose bushoboka. Imana ibahe
In
umugisha.
so many different ways, may God bless you.
Reka nshimire mama.
Let me thank my mom.
Mama nubwo yatanze urugingo rwiwe,
Even though my mom gave her organ,
ntiyaretse kujya mu gikoni,
she did not stop from cooking, from going to the
ntiyaretse
kitchen.
gusengera papa,
She did not stop from praying to my dad.
ntiyaretse kwita kuri papa.
And she did not stop to care for my dad.
Kandi nawe yarakeneye abamwitaho.
And she also needed some people to care for her as
Ariko
well.
ibyo byose yarabikoze.
But she did all those.
Imana idakiranirwa izaguha umugisha.
Mama, the Lord, may the Lord bless you abundantly.
Ndashaka gushimira umugabo wanjye.
I want to thank my husband.
Mu marandevu yose twagiye tugira,
Through all the appointments that we had,
no mu burwayi bwa papa,
and through my dad's sickness,
umugabo wanjye yarahagurutse,
my husband stood with me.
amenya abana,
He cared for the kids.
anyitaho,
He cared for me as well.
yita ku muryango wose.
And he cared for the entire family.
Natahaga rimwe na rimwe ncitse intege, numva umutima wanjye ugiye nko guturika kubera kuba overwhelmed.
Sometimes I would go home weary and weak because I was very overwhelmed, feeling my heart was about to burst.
Akambwira uburyo ari proud yanjye,
And he would tell me how he is proud of me,
akansubizamo imbaraga.
and he would strengthen me one more time.
Ntabwo nabona icyo namuha,
I don't know what I can give to him,
ariko Imana ihaze kwifuza kwe.
but may God fulfill all his needs.
Ndashaka gushimira abantu twabanaga mu rugo.
I also want to thank the people who lived with me at my house,
Duhereye kuri mabukwe
starting from my mother-in-law
n'abandi basore twabanaga kuva 2023.
and some other young men that live with us since 2023.
Kuko hari igihe ntabonekaga bakita ku bana.
Because sometimes I wasn't around, but they would care for my kids.
Ndabashimira no kuri Imana ibahe
I
umugisha bose
thank you
aho bari.
truly, and may God bless you wherever you are.
Ndashaka gusaba imbabazi ku bantu bifuje gusura papa ntibamubona.
I would like to apologize for those who wanted to visit my dad but couldn't.
Kubera surgery, nyine transplant surgery yagize,
Because of the transplant surgery that he had,
batubujije ko ajya mu bantu,
they prohibited him to go to see other people.
batubuza no gusurwa.
And they said no, that people should not be visiting.
Byari bigoye dore ko n'ubundi ari byo bimutwaye.
It was really hard because it's even the sickness that
Ayo
has taken him.
viruses yose niyo yamutwaye.
All those viruses are the viruses that ended his life.
Ariko on behalf of my dad,
But mu izina rya papa wanjye,
ndashaka kubasaba imbabazi.
I would like to apologize.
Si uko twanze ko mumusura,
It's not because we did not want you to visit him,
ariko twashakaga kuramira ubuzima
but we
bwiwe.
wanted to protect him and his life.
Ntihagire umuntu uzatwumva nabi.
Please do not take it in the wrong way.
Yari umuntu uri private,
He was someone who was very private,
kandi ibyo nabyo twagombaga kubimwubahira.
but we were supposed to obey and accept it as well.
Nzamukumbura,
I'll miss him.
ni mugari ntabwo nabasha kumuvuga ibyiwe byose muri aka kanya.
He's very big. I cannot say everything about him today,
Ariko nk'imfura yiwe,
but as his firstborn,
ndashaka kwizeza mama n'abo tuvukana
I wanted to assure my mom and the siblings, my
ko
siblings,
ntacyo bazabura
that
mpari.
they will never lack anything while I'm still alive.
Nzakumbura ubwenge bwiwe,
I will miss his wisdom.
nzakumbura inseko yiwe,
I will miss his smile.
nzakumbura ubwitonzi bwe,
I will miss his kindness.
nzakumbura ibintu byinshi kuri papa.
I will miss a lot of things on my dad.
ariko Imana yaramuduhaye
But God has given him to us,
kandi yaramwisubije.
and God has taken him away.
Izina ryawe rihabwe
May
icyubahiro.
his name be praised.
Murakoze.
Thank you.
Hari iyindi message nza gusoma nyuma ariko reka nk'umugabo wanjye nawe ijambo.
That I'm going to read, but let my husband speak first.
Murakoze.
Thank you very much.
Biragoye kuvuga uno munsi,
It is really tough to say something during this day,
ariko turagerageza ko dushoboye.
but we're going to do our best.
Nkuko madame amaze kubivuga,
Like my wife just shared,
hari ibyo ndasubiramo,
there are things that I'm not going to repeat again.
ariko ndaza kuvuga ibintu bigera kuri 4,
But I'll mention 4 things
hanyuma dutanga umwanya ku bandi.
so we can give time to others as well.
Nzehe namumenye guhera 2010,
I got to know my father-in-law since 2010.
nibwo nari menyanye na Aime bwa mbere,
That was the time I met Emma for the first time.
ariko tuza gutangira kuvugana 2013 irangira.
But we started dating in 2013 at the end of it.
Noneho tuza kubonana 2017,
We met in 2017.
nibwo twatangiye kubana ubuzima bwa buri munsi.
That's when we started living together on a daily basis.
Ariko icyo nshaka kuvuga aho ngaho,
But what I wanted to share there,
Nzehe yarankundaga.
my father-in-law loved me.
Ntekereza ko biri mu bintu zakumbura,
I think that's one of the things that I'm going to miss so much.
kubera ko ntago yafashe nk'umukwe gusa,
He did not take me as a son-in-law only.
yarankunze nk'umwana yibyariye mu nda yiwe.
He has loved me like his own son.
Ndabizi ko abantu benshi mufite abakwe
I know that many of you have sons-in-law
kandi murabakunda,
and you love them.
ariko hari ukuntu umuntu agukunda
But there's a way that someone loves you
ukabyumva,
and you feel it.
mukabana
You live together
nkaho ari umubyeyi wawe wakubyaye.
as if he is your biological parent.
Rero ndamushimira kuri ibyo
I
ngibyo,
thank him for that
kubera ko yankunze.
because he has loved me.
Twabanye mu buzima bwa buri munsi.
We live together on a daily basis.
2018
In 2018,
nagiye gusaba akazi ahantu,
I went to look for a job somewhere, to apply for a job.
umuntu wampaye akazi
And the person who gave me the job
yari amuzi,
knew him.
arambwira ngo ngiye kukohereza kwa sobukwe, niwe uza kubera supervisor wawe direct.
And then that person said, I'm going to send you to your father-in-law and he's going to be your direct supervisor.
Ndagenda turakorana umwaka wose,
And I went there, we worked together for the full year.
dukorana ku wa mbere kugeza ku wa gatanu.
We were working together from Monday to Friday.
Ariwe supervisor wanje direct.
And he was my direct supervisor.
Rero yambereye urugero rwiza,
He was a good example to me.
kandi ndamushimiye.
And I thank him for that.
Ikindi mvuga,
Another thing that I want to share,
yari umubyeyi mwiza,
he was a very good father.
yitaye ku bana biwe
He cared for his children.
nkuko numva nanjye nabikora,
The way that I feel like I would do it as well.
kuko yambereye urugero rwiza.
Because he was a good example to me.
Yankundiye abana,
He loved my children.
ku bantu bavuganaga nawe kenshi cyane,
For many people who used to talk to him,
bazi uyu muhungu kandi ku izina ariko batamuzi no kumubona gutya,
they know my son even though they have not met him in person.
kubera ukuntu yamuvugaga,
Because of the way that he would talk
n'ukuntu
about him
bahoranaga
and the
cyane.
way that they would be together all the time.
Rero ndabimushimiye.
I thank him.
Icya gatatu,
Number 3,
Muzehe yari umunyabwenge.
he was really smart.
Murabizi ko yari umunyapolitike,
You know that he used to be a politician
kandi twaraganiraga cyane pe,
and we would talk a lot about it.
ariko sinigeze numva n'umunsi n'umwe
But I've never heard even one day
hari umuntu yigeze avuga nabi,
him talking bad about any other person.
kubera ko batumvaga ibintu kimwe.
Just because they have different perspectives on
Twari
things.
tumaranye hafi imyaka 8 ubuzima bwa buri munsi,
It's been almost about 8 years living together on a
tubonana
daily
hafi
basis,
buri munsi,
meeting almost every day.
ariko sinaribwire numva n'umunsi n'umwe avuga umuntu nabi.
But I've never heard him talking bad about someone.
Rero rwari urugero rwiza kuri njyewe,
It was a good example to me as
kandi
well,
ndabimushimira.
and I thank him for that.
Icya nyuma,
Lastly,
Muzehe yari umuntu uri positive cyane.
he was very positive.
Ntekereza ko ni ikintu twari duhuriyeho.
It was one thing that we had in common.
ku bantu banzi
For those people who know me,
singira gucika intege muri njye
I rarely get, I do not get discouraged
Ndi
easily.
umuntu numva ndihora ndi positive mu bintu byose
I do stay positive in all situations.
rero ni ikintu yanyigishije
It's one thing that he has taught me,
kugeza no mu minsi ye ya nyuma
even during his last days.
yarabigaragaje kandi numva biranyubatse
He has shown that, and really he encouraged me so much.
ibintu byose yari positive
Because he was positive in so many,
kandi
in all the things.
ndashimira ko arinze agenda k'icyizeye
And I thank God that even during his last
hari
breath,
indirimbo
he was still believing.
hari indirimbo yakundaga
nongeye kwirirwa mwese
Good afternoon, everyone.
jewe nitwa Liliane mutima Ngomirakiza.
My name is Lilian Amutima Ngomirakiza.
Njye mwana wa gatatu wa papa.
I'm the third born of my dad.
Ndashima Imana yaduhaye papa
I think God was giving us our dad,
igahitamo ko atubera umubyeyi natwe tukamukomokaho.
and who has chosen us, my dad, to be our father, and so we can be his descendant.
Yatubereye umubyeyi mwiza apana twebwe abana yabyaye gusa ariko namwe mwese muri hano n'abandi badahari.
He was a great father, not only to us who are here, but to us his children, but also to you who are here and others who are not here.
Ndashima Imana ku rugendo rwa papa rwo muri iyi si.
I thank the Lord for my dad's journey in this world.
Kandi ndashima Imana inshuro zose Satani yashatse kumwica no kumutwara ariko ntibyakunda kuko igihe cyari kitaragera.
But I thank God for all those times that the devil wanted to take him, but it didn't happen because it wasn't the right time.
Ndashima Imana
I thank God
ko yahaye papa amahitamo
that he has given dad the choice
kugeza umunsi papa yavuze ngo ndi ready aragenda.
to the point where my dad was ready to go.
Shima Imana ko mpagaze hano kuri uyu munsi.
I thank the Lord for me to stand here this morning.
Nari nzi ko nzaza muri Amerika.
I knew that I was going to come in America,
Ariko ntabwo nari nzi ko nzaza nzanywe n'ibi ngibi.
but I didn't know that I was going to come in this kind of event.
Yabivuze papa yaragumaga atubwira ngo tuzabusanwa mu nzira.
I mentioned it. My dad would always tell that we'll cross paths on the way.
Ariko ndashima Imana ko nabisobanukiwe ibyo ari byo.
But I thank God that I got to understand what he meant to say by saying that.
Inshuro nyinshi twagiye tumenya ko hari umuntu ugiye gutaha muri famiye yacu tugasenga ariko ntago twumvisha ko yaba ari papa.
So for so many times we've heard that there was a bride in our family that someone was going to pass, but we couldn't imagine that it was going to be our dad.
Ndashima Imana ko apotre ari hano, apotre Gitwaza Paul.
I thank the Lord that Apostle Paul Gitwaza is here.
Inzozi za mbere nagize ku rupfu rwa papa naramubonye gutya mwicaye.
The first dream that I had of my dad's passing, I saw him sitting like you are sitting here.
Ariko nkamubona turi Kicukiro mu Rwanda i Kigali.
But I would see him, seeing him being in Kicukiro and Kigali, Rwanda.
Hambwira se aba bantu bose bari hano n'uyu mwijima kubera iki mutari kwatsa amatara.
And I would ask him, like, all these people who are here and it's dark, why are you not turning on the lights?
Abantu bose bagaceceka.
And all the people would be silent.
Apotre anshaho arambwira ati bite mani wowe uvuye muri Canada.
And then Apostle passed by me and said, like, hi, my daughter, are you the one coming from Canada?
Ndambwira ni njyewe.
And then I said, yes, it's me.
Ndambwira se apotre kuki batari kwatsa amatara dufite umuriro. Aba bantu bose bicaye bari gukora iki muri ino nzu muri uyu guhera saa 10 tugeze saa 1 z'ijoro mu mwijima. Habaye ikihe kibazo hano?
And then I asked Apostle, say, like, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., it's dark and there's lights, but no one is turning on the lights. Why?
Sinibuka neza ko ndagira yarambwiye ati nyuma y'igihe gitoya umucyo uraza.
I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think he said, like, after a while, the light is going to come back.
Ndagushima ko wabashije kuza.
I thank you for coming.
Ndashima abantu bose twese twagiye turota kugenda kwa papa ariko we never knew ko this was the time yaragiye kugenda.
We all had different dreams about the passing of our dad, but we didn't know that this was the time.
Ndihanganisha abavandimwe banje bari hano.
I would like to present my condolences to my siblings who are here.
ndihanganisha Cynthia, Nancy, Richard.
I would like to comfort Cynthia and Uncle Richard
Nancy
and,
Richard
and Nancy and Richard.
ntabwo babashije kuza hano.
They weren't able to come here.
So papa ngiye kumuvuga mu bice bine mu minota mike.
I would like to talk about my dad in 4 different parts in a little while.
Papa ndamuvuga nk'umubyeyi.
I would talk about my dad as my father.
Papa yaratubyaye araturera.
My dad gave birth to us and raised us.
Aduha ubuzima bwiza, twiga neza, tubaho neza.
He gave us good life. We studied well and we lived well.
Papa yabereye umubyeyi abantu benshi bari hano n'abatabashije kuboneka.
My dad was a father to so many people who are here and those who aren't here.
Papa no mu myaka yiwe ikuze yamenyaga size zacu n'ibintu byose dukeneye kurusha na mama, akabitwereza ibintu bidukwiriye kandi atanaduheruka.
My dad, even when he was here, he would know our sizes for clothes and everything, and he would send us things that are really fitting well, even more than my mom could do it.
Papa yaduhaye support ishoboka.
Our dad gave us the support that we needed.
Ashigikira ibyo dukora.
He supported everything that we're doing.
Kugezaho naho yajyaga kuri YouTube ngo ajye kureba ko ndi kuririmba muri Azaf.
To the point where he would go to YouTube to see how I'm singing in Azaf.
Ikintu cya kabiri nshaka kuvuga kuri papa ni urukundo.
And the second thing that I would like to share about my dad is the love.
Papa yakunze abantu bose atitaye ku myaka cyangwa urwego abantu barimo.
My dad loved people regardless of their age or how those people are.
Menya ubwenge twari abantu nka 18 wacu Kicukiro mu nzu.
If I remember well, we were about 18 people in our house in Kicukiro when I was growing up.
Kandi ni nako buri weekend twagiraga abashitsi n'abandi bavuye hanze.
And that was the same way we would have visitors every weekend and other people coming from different places.
Ku buryo naho twaje gusanga dusigaye bake mu nzu byatugoye kwibana turi abantu nka 5-6 mu nzu.
To a point where when we were only a few left in the house, it was really difficult for us being like 5-6 in the house.
Tugeze mu Rwanda.
When we got to Rwanda,
twagezeho tuvuga ati Imana uzaduha abapangayi ntago twabasha kwibana mu nzu twenyine.
There was a point when we prayed and said, God, please give us the people who can come and live with us because we cannot live by ourselves in the house.
Kandi Imana yarabaduhaye barenze 2.
And God gave us more than 2.
So, nkiri kuvuga ku rukundo rwa papa.
As I'm still talking about my dad's love,
hari abantu batari hano ariko twabanye Bukavu.
There are people who are not here but who lived with us in Bukavu.
Ndibuka saa sita twacumbaga ubugari mu kilinda mu safuriya nini cyane.
I remember we used to make fufu in a very big pot.
Umunsi umwe njya gusura abashiti banjye noneho mbona bo bacumba mu kasafuriya kakidogo hivi.
One day I went to visit my friends and they were making fufu but in a small pot.
Ndaza mbwira mama ndanga yakini mama John ni bengine barasonga kamuzi. Kubera iki abandi bacumba mu safuriya ntoya twebwe kubera iki tucumba mu inshuro 2 kandi 3 mu safuriya nini cyane.
And then I asked my mom, well, why do other people make fufu in a small pot but for us we do it 2-3 times and in a very big pot?
Mama arambwira ati riri none se ko dufite abantu kandi Imana yaduhaye ibiryo.
And then my mom responded to me, we have a lot of people and God has given us food.
Atahubwo namwe muzabiharanire kujya mugaburira abantu bose.
And she said, do it as well when you grow up so you can feed all the people.
Abantu benshi twara papa yarabatunze tutazi.
My dad cared or supported so many people that we don't even know.
Aranabakunda.
And he loved them.
Ngiye kuvuga ku Kristo bwa papa.
I'm also going to talk about dad's Christianity.
Papa yakundaga Imana.
My dad loved God.
Yarayikunze mpaka natwe arayidukundisha.
He loved God and he made us love God as well.
Ku buryo n'igihe atajyaga gusenga byukaga akaduhitike n'ituro ngo tujyane mu rusengero.
Even by the time that he would not go to church, he would wake us up and give us the ticket, the bus ticket, and also give us the offering so that we can go to church.
Papa yagiraga kwizera kwinshi.
My dad had a lot of faith.
Atwigisha kubaza Imana ubushake bwayo mbere yo gukora ikintu icyo ari cyo cyose.
And he taught us how to ask God his will before we can do anything.
Kandi atubwira yuko Imana ifite umugambi mwiza kuri twe.
And he taught us that God had a good plan to us.
Kandi izasohoza amasezerano yatugeneye yose.
That he is going to fulfill all the promises that he has promised us.
Ubukristo bwa papa nta wabukweshoninga kameme
There's no one who can question our dad's Christianity,
kuko n'uburyo yatashemo byagaragaje umubano yarafitanye n'Imana.
because even the way that he passed, it showed the relationship that he had with God.
Papa yaduhuje n'abantu basenga
Our dad made us connect with the people who pray,
kandi twarasenganye kugeza umunsi wa nyuma yagiye muri koma.
and we prayed with him until the last day when he went in a coma.
Ndashaka kurangiza mvuga ku papa nk'inshuti nyanshuti.
I want to wind up talking about a dad as a best friend.
Papa yatugize inshuti ze.
Our dad made us his friends.
Nkuko abantu bavuze ngo yabahaga amazina, natwe rero yaduhaye amazina.
As people say that he used to give him names, he has also given us names.
Yanyitaga Mary Boss kuko ninjye wari uri kurera abana mu Rwanda.
He used to call me Mare Boss, or like boss lady, because I was the one taking care of the kids in Rwanda.
Ngiye muri Canada abwira Cynthia ngo wenjo nabakiya Mary Boss sasa.
When I went to Canada, I told my sister Cynthia, you the one who's boss lady now.
Icyantangaje nari nzi ko ari inshuti bikomeye cyane.
What surprised me, I used to think that I was his best friend, the only best friend.
Ariko naje gusanga twese yabwiraga buri wese ngo ni inshuti ikomeye.
But I realized that he was telling each and everyone that the person is his best friend.
Muri twe papa kubera ubushuti
To us, because of that kind of friendship
hari abo
with my
bavuganaga
dad,
ibijyanye na finance,
there were some people that he would talk to about
hari abari
finances.
bashinzwe health system yiwe,
Others were in charge of his health
hari
system.
abo bakoranaga mu bijyanye na spirituality gusenga,
Others would talk about spiritual things,
hari
praying.
nabo yavugisha bari bahujwe no kuganira social life muri twe mu bana be.
And there were some also among his children that he was only talking about social life.
Papa yari inshuti yacu cyane
Our dad was our best friend,
ku buryo yatubazaga ati se uri kuvugana nande mu bahungu ko uravugana nande muri iyi minsi.
to a point where he would ask us, like, who are you dating
He
these
was really
days?
a good friend.
Yari inshuti nyanshuti.
So nsoza rero
As I'm concluding,
ndashima Imana ko yemeye konza hano
I thank the Lord for accepting that I come here
nkaherekeza papa.
so that I can bid a farewell to my dad.
Ndashima famiye n'inshuti ziri mu Rwanda,
I thank the family and friends who are in Rwanda,
bari muri Canada,
those who are in Canada,
muri Kenya,
in Kenya,
muri Congo,
in the Congo,
namwe muri hano.
and you who are here.
Ndashima abatanze ubuhamya byose ku bijyanye n'ubuzima bwa papa,
I thank all those who share testimonies about my dad's life,
kandi ndabizeza yuko indangagaciro yari afite
and I promise you that all the values that he had,
n'imico myiza yamuranze
all the good character,
muzayitubonamo.
that you're going to see those in us.
Tuzakomereza aho yagejeje,
We're going to carry on where he left,
kandi tuzakora uko dushoboye tubane neza n'abantu bose.
and we're also going to do our best so we can live well with everyone.
So mama,
My mom,
turagushimiye cyane.
we thank you so much.
Sinzi hari impano tuzakugenera niba twayita inka nk'abana bawe.
I don't know, there's a gift that we're going to give you. I don't know if you can call it a cow as your children.
Warakoze cyane.
Thank you very much.
Tuzakubera abana beza kandi tuzakumvira.
We're going to be good kids to you, and we're going to obey you.
Tuzaguhesha ishema, duheshe papa ishema hari mu ijuru.
We're going to make you proud and also make our dad proud where he is in heaven.
Amen. Na Dogo Felix,
Amen. And Dog Felix,
namwe hari impano yanyu tuzabageza mu minsi iri imbere.
there's also a gift that we're going to bring to you in the days to come.
Abavukanyi ba papa,
The siblings to my dad,
tubijeje ko tuzababera abana.
we promise you that we're going to be good children to you.
Tuzabumvira
We're going to obey you.
kuko papa ntiyigeze atwereka ko hari difference hagati yiwe namwe.
Because our dad never showed us that there was a difference between him and you.
Ndarangije aka kanya.
I'm concluding my speech right now.
Nifuriza papa umuzuko w'abera.
I wish my dad to resurrect with the holy.
Kandi ashima Imana ko agiye ari twe tumushinguye.
And I
Tugiye
think
gushingura undi mwana muri twe.
I thank the Lord that now he's going and we are the ones to bury him before he buries another child of his.
Imana ibahe umugisha.
May God bless you.